So in this video, I really want to talk about why your fitness should really just fit inside of a backpack. Not just when you're traveling in general, but just not just when you're traveling, but in general as well. And that's because, if you rely on a certain gym or specific machines or certain exercises, then you really need to evaluate what your routine is about and what your goal is in general when it comes to training. I'm able to basically travel anywhere. I'm currently in Thailand right now, and I'm still able to do pretty much my entire routine. I'm on vacation, so I'm not doing it as intensely or as much, but I'm still able to train. And when I'm back in New York City, I'm able to go into any gym. Doesn't matter if it's calisthenics focused, climbing focused, bodybuilding focused, and I'm still able to get in a routine, maintain, my split. That's because I understand the principles of training. And yes, I did study this in college, and yes, I have trained people, but you don't need to do that. You just need to know that your fitness belongs in a backpack, keeping it as minimal as you can. And, in things like incorporating calisthenics into your routine or just knowing that replacements are okay. So what this means is that if you have a system that only works in your home gym or at a very specific set of variables, then that's not really a system. That's really more of a comfort zone. Training should be able to be adaptable to any environment, and it's not the best for long-term progress because again, I preach, you need to maintain a routine for at least a few weeks, if not to a few months to a year. But that being said, if I need to train gyms, switch gyms for 1 week, I'm still going to be on routine. It may not be the exact same machine, same equipment, but I'll still be all right. I'll still make the same progress. If you go on vacation, is that something going to derail your progress back by 3 months? You shouldn't be able to go on vacation, come back 3 months worse than when you left going on vacation. You should be able to maintain. So you need to have a system that's adaptable enough and still repeatable enough where you can kind of just pick it up and go anywhere. Another quick hit is that protein. It should be something that you're able to get from like any convenience store, lean meats, whether it's packaged protein, eggs, beans, nuts, things like that. Your protein should always be top of your mind, and it should be easy enough that you can source it from anywhere, basically. And again, this is why I preach calisthenics. Say, yeah, I don't have access to a gym for a week. Great. I can still get in calisthenics, just put in a pair of rings into my bags, maybe get a really small pair of portable parallettes so I can still do 90% of calisthenics exercise, if not 100% of calisthenics exercise. Rings and parallettes are so versatile and they can fit into any backpack. They take up minimal space, and I'm still able to get in a decent workout. The only caveat will probably be leg strains, but then there are options for that. You could do Nordic setups in hotel rooms or things like that. Go to a park bench, do some step ups, explosive jumps, sprints, things like that. Go on a run. So there's still ways to train your legs while on vacation with very minimal equipment. It may not be the best, but if it's just a short-term thing, then you're still applying that principle that training should fit into your backpack. And the goal is maintenance. You're not really trying to grow, hit PRs, or do anything crazy like that. You're just trying to maintain the muscle mass and strength you already have, and it's a lot simpler to maintain. Research shows that just working out once a week is enough to maintain. Is it enough to grow and build strength? Technically, yes, especially if you're a beginner. It could be possible if you're intermediate to advanced, but it's going to be a lot easier, and it's been shown that you can maintain what you have by just working out as little as once a week. And chances are, when you're traveling, when you're moving around, when you don't have a home base, you're going to be able to train more than once a week. So you're not going to maintain, you're probably going to even be able to increase your strength a little bit. And again, what's really at the core of your training principle? Yeah, what's your discipline like? What's important to you? Is walking and calisthenics at the forefront of your routine? Because if it is, you can walk and do calisthenics everywhere. You know, so do you have the discipline to maintain your system and be adaptable enough whenever you travel? Again, because once again, if you really rely on that home gym or certain pieces of equipment or certain routines, then you really need to evaluate, in my opinion, what your training routine, what your training system is. It should really be able to fit into a backpack, and you should be able to pick it up because that mindset, your core principles, walking, being lean, getting your protein sources in, just being active in general, it should be at the forefront. All of these things can fit inside of a backpack. And then you should be able to have a routine, somewhat simple enough where you can go to any gym in the world as long as they have decent equipment and still get in a good pump, still get in a good workout, and even make progress if that's your goal while you're traveling or you're in between phases of your life. And to close out this video, our body likes repeated signals. Just being active, sending that signal to your body, hey, we're an active person, oh, we work out. So repeated signals are better than a perfect signal. You're never gonna have the perfect gym setup. Maybe you do, but then again, that's not important. That's not what's gonna make you progress, both short-term and long-term. It's the fact that you're sending your body repeated signals, and that discipline is gonna allow you to send your body repeated signals. So again, you don't need a perfect gym. You don't need a perfect setup. You don't need the best lighting. You just need those repeated signals. And even when you're traveling or just, you don't have that much time, a 20-minute intense workout is better than working out for 0 minutes that day. Do what you can as often as you can. And that's really the forefront. If your fitness system can't fit inside of a backpack for a few weeks or a few months, then you really need to evaluate. So let me know what you think about this concept. Have you applied it to your own training, whether on vacation or when you're in between phases of your life? I've definitely done it basically every time I go on vacation or when I'm in between gyms or just when I'm figuring out what type of routine or sometimes you just need a mental break from that long grind of heavy training for a few weeks. And, there's definitely been phases where, I kind of adapt the fitness. I can pack up my fitness and go put it into a backpack. And it's definitely allowed me to basically maintain what I have and not lose progress when I'm figuring out my next routine, figuring out my next gym situation, or if I'm just traveling a lot for a few weeks at a time. But again, let me know what you think. Reach out to me on Instagram at Calisthenicz if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, and I'll be happy to chop it up with you over there.